Imagine how challenging it is to drive in harsh winter conditions, with snow covering the streets and the car losing performance due to the cold. For many drivers, this is a nightmare. But it seems like the Tesla Model Y Juniper 2025 is about to transform that experience. Tesla is refining the car's heat pump system, something that was already impressive in previous models, but now promises to be even more efficient. This heat pump not only keeps the cabin comfortable, even in freezing temperatures outside, but also helps the battery perform at its best. After all, no one wants to see their range drop just because the weather decided to turn icy, right? And the traction control? That's another area that's getting special attention. Instead of letting the wheels slip on slippery surfaces like ice or mud, the system in the Juniper 2025 is smarter. It quickly adjusts the power sent to each wheel, ensuring stability and safety. It's as if the car is reading the terrain and anticipating movements, giving you that sense of confidence, even in the worst conditions. For those living in areas where winter is intense, this innovation isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Tesla knows this and seems to be taking its commitment to making a car that truly embraces winter seriously. On top of that, word is that it might come equipped with the much-talked-about solid-state batteries. And what does that mean? I've mentioned these new batteries in other videos on the channel. But for those of you who are still catching up, let me explain a little. First off, these batteries can store much more energy in a smaller space. It's like having a gas tank that takes up half the space but goes twice as far. With that, the Juniper's range should easily surpass 400 miles, which completely changes the game for those who drive long distances. Can you imagine taking a whole trip without worrying too much about stopping to recharge? Now, it's not just the range that's impressive. Charging time, which is one of the biggest complaints from electric car drivers, could also be drastically reduced. These solid-state batteries charge faster because they handle high currents without overheating. We're talking about charging enough for hours of travel in just a few minutes. Imagine stopping at a supercharger, grabbing a coffee, and by the time you're back, the car is ready to go. It sounds like magic, but it's pure advanced science that's getting closer to becoming part of our everyday lives. Another thing that puts everyone at ease is the safety. Solid-state batteries are much less prone to problems like overheating or, even worse, fires. This is because they don't use flammable liquids like traditional lithium-ion batteries. The structure is much more stable, meaning you can drive with peace of mind knowing that the car is safe even in extreme situations. For those who love technology but worry about safety, this innovation is simply amazing. And it doesn't stop there. With the higher energy density, these batteries could open new doors for car design. Imagine that Tesla engineers could even reduce the battery size without losing range, leaving more space inside for passengers, or even a bigger trunk. Or maybe they'll use that extra energy to integrate new technologies, like even more sophisticated entertainment systems or advanced autonomous driving features. It's almost as if these batteries are the heart of a bigger revolution inside the car itself. Another fascinating aspect is how this could impact costs. Although solid-state batteries are still expensive to produce, Tesla has already proven it has the talent to make technologies that were once considered out of reach more accessible. Remember when electric cars were seen as luxury toys? These days, Tesla has managed to turn that into something much more affordable for a larger audience. If they can do the same with these batteries, it could be the start of a new era for electric cars. Plus, there's an environmental aspect to these new batteries. They're more efficient not only in terms of energy, but also materials. Some of them use fewer rare metals, meaning a smaller environmental impact during production. And when they reach the end of their useful life, they can be recycled more cleanly and efficiently. Tesla, which is already known for thinking ahead, must be planning something along these lines to continue leading the electric vehicle market sustainably. Now imagine what this means for traveling in general. With such a long range and fast charging, maybe the experience of traveling in an electric car will become even better than with traditional combustion cars. Not to mention that increasingly sophisticated charging stations now offer rest areas with Wi-Fi, coffee, and other comforts. If the Juniper really delivers all of this, it could be the car that finally shifts the mindset of those still unsure about electric vehicles. Have you ever imagined a car where the structure itself is a battery? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this idea is closer to reality than you think. Researchers are working on something called structural batteries. Instead of simply installing a battery under the car, they're thinking about turning parts of the car itself, like the chassis or body, into batteries that store energy. This means that future vehicles could be much lighter and, at the same time, much more efficient. It's as if every part of the car helps keep it running. What's even cooler is that this isn't just about efficiency. With less weight, energy consumption decreases, which could lead to greater range for electric cars. Imagine a Tesla, which already has great range now, but with this technology, it could go even farther without needing a bigger or heavier battery. Plus, lighter vehicles are faster and have better handling. Anyone who enjoys driving knows how much that makes a difference, whether you're hitting the road or dealing with city traffic. Another advantage of these structural batteries is that they could revolutionize car design. Without the need for a space dedicated solely to the batteries, engineers would have the freedom to create vehicles with completely new shapes and sizes. Maybe smaller, more aerodynamic cars, or even ones with more interior space. This opens up a world of possibilities, from sleek sedans to more spacious and efficient SUVs. And, of course, all of this while maintaining a commitment to sustainability. And it's not just in the world of cars where this technology could make an impact. Think about electric bikes that could be lighter and easier to carry, or even drones that could fly for longer periods without needing to recharge as often. The same idea could be applied to airplanes and other modes of transportation. It's a technology that has the potential to change much more than just the way we drive. It could completely transform our relationship with energy and transportation. Another amazing aspect is the environmental impact this technology could have. With lighter vehicles, the consumption of materials in manufacturing also decreases. This means less waste and a reduced carbon footprint during production. Not to mention that by integrating the battery into the structure of the vehicle, it's possible to reduce the use of separate components, making the recycling process easier and more efficient. For those concerned about the future of the planet, this is great news. And did you know that these batteries could also be safer? The idea is that the vehicle structure made with structural batteries would be incredibly resistant, capable of absorbing impacts in case of collisions. Plus, the materials used in these batteries are being designed to be less flammable than traditional lithium-ion batteries. This adds peace of mind for those who think electric cars still need advancements in this area. Of course, there are still challenges ahead. Making these batteries durable enough to withstand daily wear and tear while maintaining good energy storage capacity isn't easy. But advancements are happening fast, and it's exciting to imagine what the first car to adopt this technology will be like. In a few years, the idea of battery as something separate from the vehicle might seem completely outdated. Have you thought about a car that not only drives but also charges itself while it's parked or even in motion? It sounds like a dream, but Mercedes-Benz has taken a step in that direction with a revolutionary technology: solar paint. That's right, a special layer of paint that transforms sunlight into energy. They say that with this innovation, it's possible to generate enough energy to travel up to 20,000 kilometers per year just from daylight. And hey, this isn't something unimaginable for other electric cars like the Tesla Model Y. Maybe Elon Musk will get inspired and adopt this idea? The concept is genius because it combines two things that are already there anyway: the car's paint and the sun. Unlike traditional solar panels, which take up space and can even alter the vehicle's design, this paint integrates seamlessly without changing the car's aesthetics. It's like the car is wearing its own charging station, but in a super stylish and discreet way. Can you imagine a Tesla Model Y with this technology? You park the car in the garage or at the grocery store parking lot, and it's already gaining range. No cables or plugs required. The most interesting thing is that this idea not only improves energy efficiency, but also has the potential to reduce operational costs. For many people, the electricity bill for charging an electric car is still a point to consider. Now, imagine being able to reduce dependence on a charging station. Solar paint could pay for itself over time, saving the driver money while also helping the environment. After all, the less we rely on external energy sources, the smaller the impact on the planet. Another thing that intrigues me is how this could transform the experience for those traveling long distances. Even if the solar paint isn't enough to fully charge the car, it could help keep essential systems running. For example, the air conditioning, the multimedia center, or even battery preconditioning in extreme climates. All of this without touching the main battery energy. It's like having a solar backup always available, ensuring the car is ready for any challenge. Now, if you're wondering if this paint works only on sunny days, the answer is more interesting than you think. Even on cloudy days, or when there's little light, the technology can still capture some energy, though in smaller amounts. Of course, it's not magic, but it's much more efficient than it seems. And in places where the sun shines all year round, like California or here in Brazil, the potential is even greater. Just imagine how much this innovation could benefit tropical regions. But like any new technology, there are still challenges to overcome. One of them is the initial cost of this special paint. Although it's an amazing idea, we need to figure out how to produce it on a large scale at an affordable price, so it doesn't remain exclusive to luxury models. Also, the durability of the paint under adverse conditions, like rain, intense heat, or even minor impacts, is something that needs thorough testing. After all, no one wants a technology that looks amazing but can't handle daily use. And there's more. This solar paint opens up space for new possibilities. Imagine if other car devices could integrate with this technology. Solar glass that helps power the air conditioning, or even smaller parts like side mirrors that could store energy for specific functions. It's like each little piece of the car having its own energy function. It sounds like something from a futuristic movie, but we are getting closer to this becoming reality. Do you know what's fascinating? How technology has the power to change not only our lives, but also the way we take care of the planet. This idea of solar paint using non-toxic and recyclable materials is a perfect example of that. It's no longer just about being efficient. Now innovation needs to be environmentally friendly. It's as if we're learning to solve two problems at once, creating something amazing while also taking care of the world we live in. And, of course, this aligns perfectly with Tesla's vision of leading a more sustainable future. The most interesting part is how all of this is in line with the idea that electric cars should not only be an alternative to combustion engines, but a true revolution in how we think about transportation and sustainability. While other technologies sometimes have to choose between efficiency and environmental impact, this solar paint comes to prove that you can have both. The materials used are carefully selected to avoid harming the environment during production or later when the car reaches the end of its life. Now, think about this. What if this sustainable approach wasn't just for the car itself, but for the entire production process? Using recyclable materials in the paint is just the beginning. Imagine factories that also use solar energy to operate, creating a completely clean production cycle. Tesla already does something like this in its gigafactories, but with the addition of this paint, the commitment becomes even more evident. It's like a constant reminder that every detail matters when we're trying to make a difference. What's great about this technology is that it's also a lesson in creativity. Most people look at a car and only see the color or design, but those who developed this paint saw the opportunity to turn something ordinary into an energy solution. And the best part, without using anything that harms the environment. It may seem like a small thing, but it's exactly this kind of thinking that creates massive innovations. Every step counts, and turning car paint into something sustainable is a masterstroke to inspire other industries. Another thing that stays with me is how this could impact the life of someone who buys an electric car. We're not just talking about driving without polluting, but knowing that every part of the vehicle was designed to minimize the impact on the planet. This changes people's relationship with the products they consume. It's more than just a car. It's a statement of values for those who want to drive around while also helping create a better future. And this is something that is becoming more and more important for new generations. And this innovation is not only good for the environment, but also for business. With the global pressure for more sustainable practices, companies that manage to combine efficiency and environmental responsibility are leading the way. In addition to attracting conscious consumers, they also gain advantages in regulations and government incentives. It's the type of technology that makes everyone win: people, companies, and the planet. Who would have thought that a simple layer of paint could have such an impact? The coolest thing is that this also serves as a reminder that sustainability doesn't have to be boring or limited. On the contrary, it can be the driving force behind innovation. When you set constraints like must be recyclable or cannot be toxic, creative minds find ways to overcome the challenge. And the result? Solutions that not only meet expectations, but exceed them. This solar paint is a great example of how the pursuit of sustainability can lead to ideas we never imagined. Tesla has always been that company that everyone keeps an eye on, right? It seems like every time you blink, they're releasing something new and surprising. And that's no coincidence. It's almost as if they have a radar for capturing the best ideas before anyone else. With this mentality, Tesla not only leads the electric vehicle market, but redefines what it means to drive in the future. Can you imagine a car that not only runs on clean energy, but can generate some of that energy itself, thanks to solar paint? This kind of innovation is what puts Tesla miles ahead of its competitors. One of the things that makes Tesla so competitive is how they combine different technologies into a single product. It's not enough to have the best electric motor, the most efficient battery, or the most futuristic design. They put all of this together and still add something extra like the cherry on top. Now, think about this. If they actually start using structural batteries, the kind that store energy while also supporting the weight of the car, it wouldn't just make the vehicles lighter, but also more efficient. Imagine a Model Y with even more range and lower energy consumption. It may sound like science fiction, but it's exactly the kind of thing they're always chasing. But it's not just about technology for the sake of technology. Tesla also knows how to use these innovations to connect with people in a unique way. When you buy a Tesla, you're not just buying a car, you're joining an idea, a vision of the future where things are simpler, cleaner, and much smarter. This creates a legion of fans and consumers who are not only interested in the product itself, but also in what it represents. And let's be honest, it's not easy to compete with that. Other brands may try to copy one or another innovation, but Tesla has this ability to create a complete experience. What's interesting is that this attitude of always seeking the next big breakthrough also forces the market to keep up. When Tesla launches something innovative, it's almost like they're telling other automakers, so, are you going to sit still, or are you going to try to catch up? This creates a healthy race that benefits everyone, especially consumers. The adoption of technologies like solar paint or structural batteries could be the next step in solidifying that leadership. After all, while other brands are trying to improve the basics, Tesla is already thinking about what no one else has imagined. Now, think about how this impacts the tech industry itself. Tesla doesn't develop everything alone. They collaborate with suppliers and startups at the forefront of materials, batteries, and software. This innovation ecosystem is one of the reasons they can move so quickly. And the best part? Many of these technologies end up spreading to other sectors, like construction, energy, and even public transport. It's as if every step Tesla takes creates waves of impact far beyond the automotive market. Another thing that can't be ignored is how Tesla uses its influence to shape policies and regulations. For example, when they started popularizing electric vehicles, many governments realized they needed to invest in charging infrastructure to keep up. Now, with more advanced technologies like solar paint, Tesla could be setting a new standard for what we expect from sustainable vehicles. This not only keeps them competitive, but also reinforces the company's position as a leader in a global movement. And then there's the timing aspect, which Tesla seems to master better than anyone else. It's not enough to just have a revolutionary idea. You need to know when and how to bring it to market. They wait for the right moment, when the technology is mature and consumers are ready to embrace the novelty. That's why things like the launch of more efficient batteries or innovations in vehicle construction are always so impactful. Tesla knows exactly how to turn cutting-edge technology into something desirable and accessible. In the end, what makes Tesla so special is this mix of boldness, vision, and flawless execution. They're not afraid to take risks, to think outside the box, and to bet on ideas that might seem improbable at first. But that's exactly what keeps them at the top, while others try to catch up with what they're already planning for the future. And the most amazing part is that this race is far from over. They continue to challenge the status quo and keep us curious about what's coming next.